Chapter 2172, Hades, Here I Come. It turned out that among this species, the Totoro was a mutated individual, larger in size and possessing greater abilities. Most crucially, when Zhang Yi kept it as a pet, he never skimped on feeding it resources like Earth centipedes. These creatures were renewable, plentiful, and packed with immense energy. Zhang Yi treated them as mere snacks, yet the Totoro's power was no joke. Its ability index hit a staggering 9,999 points. As a result, it now possessed not only formidable strength but also intelligence far surpassing other burrowers. It effortlessly became their king. Upon receiving Zhang Yi's message, its eyes sharpened. It tossed aside the corn cob and leaped onto a raised platform. "Everyone, stop what you're doing and listen to me." The dazed mole beasts below looked up at it in confusion. Screech! Screech! Totoro raised both arms and shouted, "The lizard men have enslaved us for so long. They make us do heavy labor every day and never give us good food. The lives of burrowing beasts matter too. We must fight for our rights and live with dignity as diggers." The diggers below were confused. Staring at these dim-witted kin, Totoro fell silent for a moment. Then it bellowed at the top of its lungs, "Follow me, and your daily rations will double." The diggers grasped the meaning and instantly erupted in excited squeals. Screech! 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 Totoro waved his massive paw. "From this moment on, we'll destroy the entire underground power grid of Huashu Kingdom. Cut off their energy supply lines and show them what we're made of." The excavators might not be great at fighting, but they were absolute masters at wrecking things. Their teeth could even gnaw diamonds into dust. Under Totoro's command, the burrowing beasts immediately began tunneling into the surrounding areas. They would also relay Totoro's orders to their kin in other regions. As Zhang Yi breached that defensive monitoring system, the security department personnel detected abnormal fluctuations in space once more. This time, they too sensed something was amiss. Even if it were a system malfunction, it couldn't keep repeating the same issue. Crucially, they hadn't detected where the problem originated. This meant either the system had a major flaw, or something had slipped in silently. Several staff members exchanged glances, their hearts beating faster. Lizard Man has said, "Should we report this anomaly? What if something goes wrong?" Lizard Man slapped his arm sharply, scolding, "Are you stupid? We didn't report it last time. If we report it now, we'll definitely get punished when they trace it back." Lizard Man hesitated, "But what if something major happens?" Lizard Man scoffed, "What could possibly happen? Even if something earth-shattering occurs, the higher-ups will take the fall. As long as the blame doesn't land on us, why worry?" Seeing Lizard Man is still hesitating, Lizard Man calmly added, "Think about it, we have wives and children. If we get punished, what will become of our families?" Lizard Man fell silent for a moment before sighing. He concealed the recent system anomaly and did not report it to his level superiors. And so, Zhang Yi slipped smoothly into the Wulwan Empire. In his mind, Zhang Yi recalled the plan he and Yang Xinxin had rehearsed hundreds of times. Every detail of the plan merged with the real-world scenario. Zhang Yi began his stealthy advance, descending into the underground of the Wulwan Empire. In his grasp lay the Reaper of Love, a weapon of staggering destructive power. Technologically enhanced, it now rivaled the Wulwan Empire's own Armament of Armageddon. Blowing up the entire nation was impossible. Buried too deep, its energy would be absorbed by the Earth, limiting its effectiveness. But burying it too shallowly risked exposure, given the Wulwan Empire's extensive underground defense network. Based on intelligence gathered from the 6 silver armor generals, a depth of 500 meters proved ideal for deploying the Reaper of Love. Zhang Yi first headed to the eastern city, targeting military barracks as his primary objective, followed by the energy plant and chemical materials factory. The deployment process went smoothly, and his stealth operation remained undetected. Had Zhang Yi known that on each of his visits, someone had sensed something amiss yet concealed it out of human compassion, he might have thought differently. Thus, Zhang Yi systematically deployed the Reaper of Love across key districts, covering all targeted areas. Concentrating 80% of Huashu Kingdom's Reaper of Love in one place, the resulting explosion would create a spectacle too horrifying to behold. As for the residential districts, there was no need to waste the Reaper of Love. The earthquakes, shockwaves, radiation, and extreme heat following the explosions would be more than enough to deal with. The ensuing chaos among the ordinary lizard men would, in fact, cause immense trouble for the Wulwan Empire. In the 4 urban districts, east, west, north, and south, Zhang Yi placed the Reaper of Love at the most critical locations. The final target was the imperial city in the central region. The imperial palace and numerous nobles resided here, protected by the most stringent defenses. Zhang Yi crept cautiously through the darkness. Beneath the ground, he raised his hand, opening a dimensional gate. Over 200 massive Reaper of Love bullets materialized underground. Zhang Yi maintained a safe distance from them. Even though his demon god armor could withstand intense radiation, he still felt uneasy. If these things detonated at close range, the Hades gatekeeper would be dead or at least half dead. But just as Zhang Yi prepared to deploy the Reaper of Love warheads equipped with detonators, a white vortex suddenly appeared in his left eye, a dangerous omen. In the darkness, he saw a colossal fist smash through the earth, hurtling toward him with devastating force. This deadly pressure. It's the Hades gatekeeper. Zhang Yi instantly recognized the approaching figure. He had no chance to deploy the Reaper of Love. Above his head, violent tremors erupted, and the earth itself was forcibly torn open. Zhang Yi looked up to see a towering figure clad in pitch-black armor hurtling toward him at breakneck speed. Zhang Yi and Jinglu locked eyes. Even through the armor, he could sense the eyes behind the mask turning a blood red. Enemies meeting only intensified their hatred. Seeing Zhang Yi dare to infiltrate the heart of the Wulwan Empire, Jinglu's fury and a hint of panic made him want to kill Zhang Yi on the spot. Damned insect! You dare come to the imperial capital to cause trouble? I'll kill you. Chapter 2173, Armor, Man and Machine as One. The moment the Hades gatekeeper appeared, Zhang Yi's body retreated slightly. The next instant, he had already ascended into the sky. I've anticipated every move you'll make. You won't catch me, Zhang Yi said with a smile. Simultaneously, he thought to himself, the imperial city is truly different. Its security level far surpasses other districts. I never expected even underground movements would be detected. Whoosh! A storm erupted from the ground, surging skyward. It was the Hades gatekeeper's distant punch, unleashing a terrifying black whirlwind that coiled like a dragon toward Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi dodged with astonishing agility. Such a fist wind posed no real threat to him, merely Jinglu's way of expressing rage. But the next moment, he saw the mocking gaze beneath Jinglu's mask. Foolish lowly creature, do you still think this is the outside world where I can't hunt you down? Today, you're as good as dead. Above, the sky erupted in brilliant light. A pale blue, spherical canopy flickered into existence, completely obscuring the heavens. Something like this won't stop me, Zhang Yi remarked indifferently. Yet almost instantly, a murderous intent as vast as the ocean engulfed him entirely. The colossal celestial canopy shone like the heavens themselves. Countless massive stars formed magnificent beams of light upon it, weaving a dense net that closed in upon Zhang Yi. These were thousands upon thousands of pale blue, nearly pure white rainbow beams, each containing immense power. Should they strike Zhang Yi, the damage would be unimaginable. Even Jinglu himself would not wish to be struck by such a force. For this was the very foundation of the Wulwan Empire's mightiest defense system, the bedrock that had kept the empire standing for billions of years. Despite Zhang Yi's abilities, even if he could foresee 4 seconds into the future, foreseeing did not equate to evading. The area he now occupied felt like a colossal cage, hypnosis him within its confines. A look of bewilderment flashed in Zhang Yi's eyes. What is this? Yet the next instant, the bewilderment vanished, replaced by a smile. This seems rather fun. Behind him, Ling's form suddenly materialized. Ling's form had now expanded, growing to match the stature of the Hades gatekeeper. Her chest area began to unfold like liquid, spreading out slowly. Zhang Yi took a step back as his body merged into Ling's form. Ling's human form lacked spiritual essence, existing merely as a mechanical life-form shell. Her combat relied solely on instinctive memory. To unleash her full potential to the maximum, a human operator was required. Thus, Zhang Yi entered her body as if putting on clothing. In doing so, he not only gained the world's most elite defensive battle armor, but his combat power instantly skyrocketed to a level equivalent to an ability index of 55,000 points. Facing the dense, terrifying energy net assault, Zhang Yi raised a hand, and shattered the dreadful aurora with a single strike. Jinglu's pupils contracted sharply at the sight. This. Impossible. Just months ago, the Zhang Yi he'd seen could only flee, utterly incapable of fighting. Why had he transformed like this? He stared at Ling's human form in the sky, utterly baffled by this entity. Above the heavens, the colossal light screen gathered even greater power like lightning, poised to deliver a fatal blow to Zhang Yi. But Zhang Yi wasn't foolish enough to fight on enemy territory. The dimensional gate opened. He stepped back, leaving behind a mocking smile for Jinglu before departing. Enjoy the gift I bestow upon you. This is your reward for attacking Huashu Kingdom and slaughtering my Huashu Kingdom compatriots. The instant Zhang Yi spaced shuffle away from the iron curtain of the sky, he activated the detonator. In an instant, multiple military camps, energy plants, and chemical factories across the 4 major districts of the Wulwan Empire shook violently. The earth rumbled, trembled, then shattered and exploded. It felt like triggering a nationwide earthquake across the entire Wulwan Empire. Violent tremors erupted from all directions. In the darkness, terrifying flames accompanied the explosions, shooting skyward from the deepest underground. Barracks were hurled skyward, and countless lizard-men soldiers within the barracks were reduced to dust while still asleep, leaving no trace of their remains. The terrifying flames, like gigantic pillars of black and crimson fire, illuminated the entire Wulwan Empire. Even from dozens of kilometers away, the fiery dragons accompanied by thick black smoke were clearly visible. The deafening roar froze Jinglu in place. He watched helplessly as the empire he had lived in for over a century, an empire that had endured for billions of years, suffered brutal destruction. Mushroom clouds rose one after another into the sky. The sheer scale of this explosion was impossible to fathom. The devastated areas, military barracks, power plants, chemical factories, triggered secondary explosions and leaks of hazardous materials, inflicting catastrophic secondary damage upon the major urban districts. The intense heat instantly charred countless lizardmen into unrecognizable husks. Their screams were momentarily muffled, only to erupt from every direction moments later. Desperate cries, lizardmen writhing in agony with flames licking their bodies, mangled corpses amidst the rubble, and the wails of the dying, utterly hopeless. All these scenes of hell on earth erupted within a mere 30-second time. The entire population of the Wulwan Empire was jolted awake in that instant. The dead might be considered fortunate, though their deaths were gruesome, they had not lived to endure the agony. The living, however, witnessed the most terrifying spectacle of their lives. A nation of tens of millions plunged into despair and stunned disbelief. What had happened? Confusion reigned in their hearts. They had lived such peaceful lives, almost forgetting what war even was. Even after the apocalypse, when their armies had marched forth, it was only to slaughter the weak humans crawling on the surface. Those creatures, barely larger than their domesticated pets, were killed without a second thought, like weeding out weeds. But they could never have imagined why war would now descend upon them. Without warning, their tranquil city had become a ruin, a living hell. Yet there was no time for stupor. For following the explosions came the searing radiation searing their flesh, and the deeper agony of chemical leaks. Many lizardmen's noses began to bleed. Some felt their skin itch, only to scratch off chunks of flesh. Aya! Hiss hiss hiss! Wails of despair and terror filled the entire Wulwan Empire.